everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. Great guest today, a guy I've known for many years, haven't talked to in a few years, so I'm very happy to have the chance to do so right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the X-Man, Toney Freeman. Tony, how are you, sir?
Very well, my friend. It's been a long time.
Yes, where to begin, where to begin? I probably should start off with the one thing that everyone's asking right now, and get that out of the way.
Okay.
Is, are you coming back next year, and are you coming back in classic physique?
I'm not 100% sure I'm coming back, but if I come back, it definitely will be classic physique.
Okay.
I don't want to be 300 pounds anymore. I don't want to, I always wanted to be classic. I actually, without having a choice, I had to kind of conform or try to be competitive in the open. You know, everybody kept saying, you got to be 300 pounds, you got to be 300 pounds. So, yeah, okay, I did it. I was 300 pounds. And luckily, I was able to keep my waist intact. And so, but in my heart and mind, even my last Olympia, I placed pretty low because in my mind, I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to be classic. And so I came in about 263, 264, and I got 15th place. But I was happy with my look. And so, that was the end of my era on the Olympia stage. And then I tried again the next year. Ended up injuring myself getting ready for that show. So that's what happened.
Oh, I did not know that. What happened? I never heard about that.
To be honest with you, I was getting some rolfing done. You know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting rolfing done, and I don't know. I think it just ruptured some fascia, and I didn't really realize what was going on. I just knew my legs swelled up, and I couldn't hardly walk. But I was in mid-prep mode, so I just kept pushing through. I was wearing compression, doing cryotherapy, and so I was able to compete. I got 4th place in Poland. And then I went to the Arnold, and honestly, bro, I don't even know how I did my posing routine because when I got back to the room and I sat on the bed after the show was over, I literally couldn't stand back up. So I just laid in the bed and went to sleep, woke up, 12 hours later. Yeah. But when I woke up the next day, very stiff, very sore. It was black and blue, but, the tan covered that all up.
Right.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to shut it down until I know exactly what's wrong with me. And then I got home, went to my naturopath. And he started doing some muscle testing on me, and he was like, he said, you're very deficient in several key nutritional, like vitamin C and collagen, several things for tissue repair. Yeah. And I was like, man, I'm eating 7 meals a day. How can I be deficient in anything? And he said, well, you're traveling the world. You've been competing, in multiple shows every year. You're dieting. He said, so it's just not enough nutrition to go around to fix an injury right now. So I had to shut it down. I stopped training. I literally have not trained since March of 2016, other than going to the gym, just to keep from losing my mind muscle connection. I push the sled. I do cardio outside. But like I tell people, I'm working on my before picture.
Working on your before picture. Okay, can I ask what you're weighing these days?
I got on the scale because I knew you were going to ask me. I weighed 267 this morning.
Okay. Because I'm wondering how you would ever possibly get down to whatever. I'm not sure what the cutoff, because they just added another 5 pounds to classic for the pros.
Yeah. Well, like I told you, I don't know, because I'm not going to kill myself to actually make a weight that makes no sense. I don't even believe in the weight category as far as classic goes. Classic is a look. You got people squeezing into classic physique just because they don't want to. They can't compete with the big guys or whatever. Right. But just because you make the weight don't mean your physique is classic. So I just don't understand that whole concept. It should be based on shoulder to waist ratio or stuff like that, because I was 306 pounds with a 31.5-inch waist and 32.5-inch quads. So I was classic even back then. So it doesn't matter how much you weigh.
Right. No, then there has been talk that eventually maybe they will get rid of the weight restrictions for it, because, like you said, I've been going to all the national qualifier or the pro qualifiers this year. And you see some guys that have amazing, spectacular shape and symmetry and this and that in the classic. Then you have a lot of guys who are just failed bodybuilders. They're not big enough to be bodybuilders, and they don't do well. They get weeded out. Yep. But yeah, you can
put a tuxedo on a pig, but it's still a pig. You can't if you don't have a classic physique, then you can't do classic. I mean, we'll take your money, we'll let you compete, but there's nothing you can do. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. I always start with a little bit of history, because not everybody watches these has been following the sport a long time. They're not going to know.
Right. Cool.
I have you starting competing in 1990. It's the earliest show I can find. Were you actually competing before then?
I used to compete in the AAU.
Okay.
So my first NPC experience was 1991, actually.
Okay.
But I was doing the AAU in 1989. I did my first show, Mr. Savannah, in 1989. I weighed 174 pounds at that show.
Were you like 5'8" at that time, or?
No, 6'2", brother. I've been 6'2" since the 11th grade.
Okay. Maybe you didn't get that tall to your 30s or something.
No,
okay.
Brother. I tell everybody I'm JJ Walker up under all this. I was literally, I could turn my head to the side, my chin would be sticking out farther than my shoulder. I was a skinny dude.
See, you're 51 years old. You think everyone knows who JJ Walker and Dynamite was? They don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Good Times from the 70s. You might have to Google that.
Yep.
Go on YouTube.
Yes.
Yep.
Good time. So, okay, Nationals, you were competing in the Nationals before they even had a super heavyweight class. They just had everybody over 190 and a quarter was a heavyweight. So, took you a few years. You were sixth place, fourth place, and then you tore your pec, actually right before that fourth place in 1995.
My first NPC show was 199 and 7/8 pounds. I was almost 200 pounds, so that qualified me for the heavyweight. And I actually won my class, and Deke Warner won the overall. And that was my first experience with the NPC.
So you tore your pec in 1995, 9 weeks out, and still did the Nationals, and still took fourth place in a huge class of guys.
Yes, honestly, I tore my pec August 1st, 1995. I was 284 pounds, around 4% body fat, and I had 9 weeks left to go. By the time I got I had to take 3 weeks off from training. I could only do cardio. And then the doctor cleared me, said, you got a partial tear. It's up to you. Do what you want to do. So I went to the show, and I literally, I weighed in at 251. I remember, back in the day, we used to get in line to do the weigh-in. So Don Long jumped up. He went and weighed in. I think he was about 240. Then I got up right behind him and weighed in at 251. And I knew it was between me and him. I hadn't seen Tom Prince yet, and Edgar Fletcher. He was in there too. But I actually peaked about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours before prejudging at the house. I rented a house, and I actually peaked, and then I left my water. You sit down out in the audience, and then they start the prejudging. So I didn't have any water. I go backstage. There's no water backstage, and I actually just kind of flattened out. And so I ended up in fourth place. Went to the restaurant after the show. Actually, I went to the car after the show and drunk like almost a gallon of water, standing right there. Went to the restaurant, started eating my food, and I literally peeked in the bathroom of the restaurant in Houston's. So you just miss it. It's hard to get it to the stage, especially somebody tall like me. But I will say this: Don definitely would not have beaten me if it wasn't for that incident. I love you, Don, but that's just how it is. No, but you know what? He probably would have won anyway. But because you know how it was back in the day, Byron was his sponsor. I remember sitting at the athletes meeting, and they gave us our athletes bag, and I opened it up, and it's Don Long's training manual with Byron in it and all that stuff. I said, well, this might be Don's show right here. Wow. But physique-wise, battle for battle, I came to win, and I ended up with 4. It's all good.
Now, were you flat bench pressing when you tore that pec?
No, I was doing incline. I was doing a Dorian Yates chest workout. So Dorian Yates used to start his chest workout with a slight decline flat bench. So I did we did like 6 sets of that. I went from 135 to 405, and then I went to incline the next exercise. And when I got to 405 that time on the 3rd rep, those old school Bodymaster Smith machines only were rated to 315 pounds. So we used to put 5, 6, 7, 8 plates on there. So I'm lifting, and the counterbalance kind of gave, and it tore my pec, partially tore the tendon. So I saw my life flash before my eyes. I really, I wasn't expecting that, because I did the weight for 12 reps the set before that. So it wasn't like I was lifting too heavy or anything like that. The doctor actually told me when I was getting my when he was looking me over, because I actually didn't get it repaired until 5 years later. He was looking me over. He said, it seems that you just expanded too quickly. I actually grew. I was 272 when I started that. I'm sorry, I was 242 when I started that prep. Right around April, right after the Arnold Classic, I met the mad scientist Amin Ali. He was working with Don and Greg Titus and all those guys.
Yes.
So he said, Tony, he said you need to train with me. He said, you can win the nationals. He said, I'll have you on taking 272 pounds. And at the time, I was 42. I was like, man, get out of here. But I hired him, and we went to the show. And after the finals, I went and got on the scale. I weighed 272 pounds.
Wow.
He definitely predicted that right on the nose.
Man of his word.
Yep.
The next year, you know, we talked about this long ago for an article or a column, something. But it always kind of haunted me because you went to the Nationals the next year and did not place, even though I'm sure you looked like you belonged in the top 5. And I always wondered, was it a personal grudge any one particular judge might have had against you at that show based on some relationship that you guys had or something that happened?
I love you, Ron. You really getting ready to let me straighten that whole situation out right now, right?
That's because I never forgot that.
So you know I was in line pretty much, right? Definitely to be in top 5. I'd been in top 5 every year I got there. I was 6th place in '93. Dean Caputo, they put him in front of me, but you know, we all know why. It's all good. But anyway,
GNC ads.
So yeah. So well, his sponsor was the sponsor of the show. You know how that stuff goes.
Yes.
But anyway, so I don't know if you know who. Well, I won't even tell you his name. But anyway, I got into it with one of the officials, and he told me this was like in May. He told me, he said, you might as well retire, bro. He said, I'm about to end your career. You're going to be done in the sport.
Wow.
He was in my house. He was actually in my house. I told him, get out of my house. You don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to prepare for the show, and all of a sudden, you know, all my people who I thought were my friends start ostracizing me. They start accusing me of this, that, and the other. I didn't really understand what was going on. So then I get to the show, and you know, I'm 263, and I was 251 the year before. I was ready to roll, and so you do the first where you call everybody out, and then they take you backstage and they tell you who the top 15 are.
Yeah.
So I'm back there pumping up, and I'm here and listening to the numbers call. My number was 119. And my number didn't get called. So I walk up to the expediter. I'm like, yo, man, I didn't hear my number. He looked at me. He said, oh, you didn't make it.
Wow.
I was like, man, get out of here. What do you mean I didn't make it? He said, you're not on here. You didn't make the cut. I was like, wow, okay, cool. So I put my clothes on. Well, not cool. I was pissed. I put my sweatsuit on and I walked to the judges table because I'm about to, you know, I'm like, yo, y'all got to tell me what's up. There's no way I did not make the top 3 or the top 5. So I'm walking towards the stage, and I see Rope Man up there. So I walk towards him, and he's trying to stop me from coming up there. But I got up there, and I actually looked on the table, and I actually saw 119 on every judge's seat circled and X'd out. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Wow.
And so as soon as I saw that, I knew what the deal was. I remember the argument that I had with this individual. And so I just turned around. I literally left the building, went to my hotel room, packed all my shit, and drove straight home to Atlanta. 16 hours after all that. And listen, I didn't even go to the gym for 3 years after that.
Wow.
That's how pissed off I was.
Jeez.
And just disgusted. I said, I tore my pec. I did all this stuff for the sport. And somebody could just make a phone call or write a check or whatever and ostracize me from the sport. Fast forward, and I went to the Nationals when it was in Atlanta in '99. Was it? Was that '99?
I don't know.
What? I forgot who won. I think. Yeah. So anyway, I'm in the bathroom in Atlanta. You got to go all the way downstairs to use the restroom in the Civic Center.
Okay.
So I'm down there, and I walk in the bathroom, and Jim Mannion's in the bathroom, him by himself. And I was like, wow, I hadn't got to talk to Jim forever. And so I said, what's up, Jim? He said, what's up, Tony? So I go to the urinal. Jim's walking out of the door, and he stops, and he turns around. He said, Tony, you can come back. It's okay now. And walk out of the door. I was like, bet. And so I just, my pec was still torn, but I went and my physical therapist, who was actually my workout partner, not too long after that, he said, T, I met this doctor who can fix your pec. And I was like, man, don't play with me right now. You know, it's been almost 5 years. He said, no, seriously, you need to go see him. So I went and saw the dude, and and I had the consultation, and he said, "Well, what happened? When did you tear it?" And at the time, when I tore my pec, I did not have insurance. So 5 years later, I had full coverage insurance, and I didn't want to tell him that I tore my pec 5 years because I didn't know if they would fix it or not or whatever.
Right.
So I said, well, I tore it a while ago. And he said, oh, how old are you? I said, I'm 33. He said, that's kind of funny. You usually tear it around 29 years old. Bruh, I tore my pec 30 days from my 29th birthday.
Huh.
So I was like, this is the dude to fix my pec. So we set up the appointment. I went into surgery. He did it. He woke me up from surgery. He said, son, I don't know what you made of. He said, but your tendon was in pristine condition. He said, I just sutured it to the remaining tendon and attached it to the bone. He said, you're good as new. He said, if you hadn't came to me when you tore it, I could have almost fixed it back like God made it. But he said, that's really close. He said, I would never tell someone that this was possible. He said, but you can get your pec back. He said, you can turn pro and get your career and continue your career. He said, but just be careful. And that's what I did. I started on that trek right then, doing physical therapy, and I still work on my pecs still to this day. Right. And the rest is history. Now let me ask you a question though, Ron. Seriously.
Yes, sure.
When I turned pro in 2002, were you the one that wrote the article and said that I might not do nothing as a pro? Do you remember that article?
I don't remember, but I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt that I probably said that.
I don't know if it was you or not, but
it might have been.
You remember that other part? That might have been you, but if it was you, I was going to thank you.
Oh,
because
okay,
you were the person whoever wrote that was the person that inspired me to go. Because my goal was just to win my card. I knew I was up against a huge task because I'm 6'2" with a torn pec, and I only weighed 250 pounds. And Dorian Yates was Mr. Olympia, so I knew how far I had to go to even try to be competitive.
Yeah.
But when I read that article, I was like, you know what? I was about to show these people who the X-Man really is, and I wasn't even an X-Man back then. But I'm gonna show these people what I'm made of. And from that moment, I said, I'm gonna be the top 5 in the world before I end this, before I get out of here. And honestly, that's the only thing that made me really go for it.
Wow.
So if it was you, I appreciate it.
It probably was. I've made a lot of enemies with the things I've written because I tell it like it is.
Well,
whether you could be my best friend and I'll tell you your legs suck or whatever.
But you looked at what you saw in front of you. You saw a 6'2", 36 or 37-year-old dude with a torn pec that was about 60 pounds away from being competitive against the current stock. So you were correct. If I was a mere mortal, that would be true. But because I knew that there was something in me that even brought me to the fact that if I could actually come back and actually win my card, then there wasn't too much I couldn't accomplish. So I appreciate you.
And you won 5 shows that I see here. Maybe you won more, and I could only find 5.
I won 7. I won 2 shows twice.
Okay.
I won the Europa. I won the Dallas Europa 3 times.
Wow.
I won Tampa twice. I won Sacramento twice, and then I think that's it.
And you were top 5 at the Olympia 2008.
Top 5 at the Olympia, top 3 at the Arnold 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So I came close.
No, you were way better than I ever. I'm not the greatest predictor of long-term potential, and I've been wrong many times. But I love being wrong because I like seeing somebody, beat the odds. That's much more inspiring to me than someone who's just a genetically perfect specimen that just waltzes through a career. It's not that hard for them. I want to get back to that one last question about that judge and the way he screwed you over. I have to know.
It wasn't even a judge. It wasn't even a judge. It was just somebody who was really tight with the powers that be, and had a lot of money. So whatever. I don't know how it all went down, but all I know is I got blackballed. So
was it over a girl?
You know what? No, it was not over a girl. It was over nothing. It was over nothing. It was weird because I'm a loyal type of dude, and we just got into it, and it just escalated, I guess. But to be honest with you, I just say this: Trenbolone is a hell of a drug. That's all I'll say.
Oh, I wouldn't argue that for 1 minute.
You know what I'm saying? It just made back in the day. That's when it first came on the scene. Yeah. And it just made you crazy. I can't even really put my finger on it. So, some words were said. I really wasn't having it because he was in my house, and I just put him out, and whatever is whatever.
If you really want to be a murderous, evil human being, trend plus halo testing will make you a serial killer, I believe. But
Well,
anyway.
that's what I'm trying to tell you. You need to take a lamb and turn it into a lion. So, and we didn't even have no experience on the back end. So all I remember is seeing red, and my 45 was in the drawer. I was just like, yo, man, get out of my crib. That's
Oh my
It
God.
was one of them type of arguments.
Yeah. Okay, I got a lot of
Shit
questions
happens.
from the guys on the forum, so I'm not going to be able to get to all of them. They're so big. You're a popular guy,
Okay.
and I waited too long to interview you, so that's why we have this enormous pile of questions. Derek Johnson had a few. What is the proudest moment of your career as a bodybuilder?
Proudest moment? I mean, I had so many awesome moments, but to be honest with you, after 5 years of, being away from the sport, after the way that I had to leave the first time, after tearing my pec, I literally was working 2 jobs getting ready for the Nationals that year. I was working, I was doing real estate investment, flipping houses, and I was personal training. I was training 18 clients a day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And then Tuesday and Thursday, I would drive around for 12 hours, assessing broken down, homes and foreclosures and crap. I did that. I started my prep in May of 2002, and the show was in November. So that's how hard and how bad I wanted to go. So,
how much sleep were you getting during that prep? I'm curious. Like none?
To be honest with you, once I get to a certain level of conditioning, I only sleep 2 to 6 hours at the most. I just closed my eyes, basically took power naps all day. I didn't never really, it's something about, I don't know, it's happened my whole career. When I get to a certain level of conditioning, it's like 3 to 5 hours tops.
Yeah. That's actually pretty common from my experience, so many people I talk to. When you're in prep and you're that close, you don't need a lot of sleep.
No,
even if you do, you can't sleep. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because you either got to pee or you got to eat or you're hungry. I mean, whatever. It was just got to look in the mirror. I mean, so it was crazy. That's why I tell people. People always say, well, what's the difference between being an amateur and a pro? Well, when you start having to pay your bills and things are on the line, I mean, you just get totally consumed. I will tell you, I was completely addicted to bodybuilding. I was completely addicted to being the X-Man and my food and just the whole ceremony of everything that I really did. So it's definitely an addiction.
Okay. One more from Derek. I'm not going to take everyone's questions, I told you, but one more from this guy, Derek. What has been, if you could go back in time and start over, would you do anything different?
Oh, well, yeah, I'll do a lot of stuff different.
Wouldn't we all?
Definitely. As a matter of fact, I want to talk about that here in a second. I do know that all that chemistry is not necessary, so I definitely would have. And I was very conservative, but I just know how the human body works right now, and I know what's waiting for everyone that's listening to me. That if you're doing this sport, I know what's waiting for you 10 years, 5 years, 15 years from now. So yes, I would definitely do a lot of things different. I'm gonna try to be an advocate to help people understand that you only got one body, quit following the leader, quit following the crowd, because no one knows what the hell they're doing. Everyone's guessing. All these gurus, everyone is guessing. So stop playing with your life like that. So I would definitely do a lot of things different in that arena. But other than that, as far as competing, I love the sport. I'm getting my son ready to take my place in the sport. And it's not life. It's not reality. It's a fantasy. It's fun. It's cool. But you got to keep everything in perspective if you plan on being around. I'm 51, so I plan on being around for at least another 51 years. So if you want to be around later on, if you know what I know, then I can confidently say that, and I'll share that with you guys over the years if you want to keep following me and hang out. But I've just tapped. When stuff gets taken away from you, when you are up on top and you lose it, you start getting wise, start learning from your mistakes. And you start growing from your so-called negative experience. I always tell people, yin and yang is inevitable. There's no way that you can make it through this life with just all good or all bad. So every time something good, really good happens, know that some bad is coming. And every time something bad happens, know that the good is on its way as well.
Cool. Michael Edwards wants to know, how does it feel to be in the company of Arnold and Lou Ferrigno as one of the greatest over 6-foot bodybuilders ever?
It feels amazing. When I first turned pro, I didn't have a lot of people to emulate. Paul Dillette was the man back then. And Paul's cool, and we're really cool now. But back then, I think he saw me as somewhat of a threat because there was no one like him until he saw me. It was weird. I remember we first met. We met in the bathroom at the Junior Nationals in '93. So Paul was 284 and I was 241 or something like that.
Wow.
But I walk in the bathroom and he's there and we lock eyes and he kind of looked away or whatever. And we ended up having the same sponsor, Chris Garvey from Rose Gym. But it was kind of a trip. But Paul's cool. He's cool, and it's just cool to actually be able to have someone to emulate. So when Paul left and it was me, I basically, reached out to all the tall guys and try to motivate people that are tall to let them know that you can do it too.
Because, the short guys, there's been so many short bodybuilders over the years, because I think a lot of us get into bodybuilding because, we're trying to compensate for not being tall enough or whatever. So
Right.
Short guys have a lot of role models, whereas tall guys not so much. So I'm sure you've had so many guys over the years contact you and thank you for inspiring them. Yeah?
Yes, and I welcome anyone anymore. I can help short guys too, but the tall people, you have to realize you have to train different. You can't. I tore my pec following the Dorian Yates workout. I don't blame it on Dorian, but I'm saying we're just put together different. Our leverage is different. I actually am grateful for the pec tear, other than the fact that I think that's what probably kept me from actually winning the Mr. Olympia. So, or maybe I wasn't in the cards for me to win Mr. Olympia. I do know that if I had been whole, I would have been a lot more of a threat than I was, and I think I was a pretty good threat, especially around '07 to 2010. But the reality of it is, this sport is based on who has the least amount of flaws, and so that was something that I couldn't avoid. But it won't keep you from being great. You just kind of got to overcome it. And they always say it's not really what happens to you, it's how you handle it. So that's, I learned that lesson, and it basically taught me how to really train, because I had to really adjust my training for it. And so I'm grateful to that point, and I think it saved my life because back in the 90s, we did things a little crazy. I know you guys remember Craig Titus and all that type of stuff. So we was off the chain, and I just don't know how long I would have been able to continue burning the candle at both ends. Actually, hell, the candle was in the fire. We wasn't burning the candle at both ends. It was in the fire.
Yeah.
So, I partied hard as I trained. I had the women, the whole everything. And it was cool while you're young, but, that type of stuff definitely does catch up.
Indeed. Yeah, I was at a few of Craig's parties, I can't lie.
Oh, there you go. You already know then. I try not to, I changed the names and all that to protect the innocent, but yeah.
No, I interviewed Chris Cormier. I interviewed maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and I said, you got a reputation for being a hard party, but I'm not judging you because I can recall several times I was right there next to you at the club, so I'm not judging.
Exactly. And Chris was Chris, Craig. Yeah, bro. It was fun. We had a blast, bro. Think about it, dude. 27 years old. 295 pounds with a 31-inch waist, in California. Dude, it was the bomb. I ain't even gonna lie.
6'2" helps also.
Yeah, being 6'2", walking. It's still like that. I handle it a lot better now. When I was a kid, you just roll with it.
Yeah.
You think about it. We used to have to wait 3 months to see what's going on. So
that's right.
The Olympia, it would be December before we got to even see Olympia pictures back in the day. Yeah. So when you win, you win the national, you get your pro card, you instantly become a celebrity. So it was amazing.
Right. Yeah, a little off track, but back to being a taller guy, it is more challenging. I've known a lot of taller guys trying to bodybuild, and it is harder to fill out those longer limbs for sure. But when a guy who's 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", whatever fills out, it's so much more impressive when that guy walks into a room or walks through a gym as opposed to someone who's 5'3", 5'5", 5'7". It's just a massive human being. So it's a cool thing to do.
Yeah. When I go back and look at the pictures, and and I see how much taller I say, man, it looks like I'm taking my kids on a walk in the park. It was crazy. But you're on stage, you really can't see that perspective, especially when you're sitting down in the audience and looking up. that's why I always said that bodybuilding shows should be in performance arenas, so you can just have the proper perspective.
Right. Well, I always said if you're not in the first 10 rows, you might as well be watching on a webcast or something.
Just looking at kneecaps and testicles. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
Okay, so these next questions, couple from AJ, very famous guy from Norway that posts. He wants to know first, do you have any Jamaican roots?
No, not biologically.
Yeah, I don't know why you.
I'm connected with the Islanders, though, if you know what I'm saying.
Sure. Okay, who gave you the name the X-Man?
I have to. I tried to give it to myself. So I tell you what, and I really thank Steve Bleckman because he's the one that really put me on the map as far as being the X-Man. So when I first turned pro, I signed with VPX, and the X-Men had came out in the theaters. So I told Jack Owak, I was like, "Yo, Jack, I want to make a action figure of myself and call it the VP X-Man." And of course, we never did it. But then I won the Iron Man and then won the Sacramento. And Steve was like, "Yo, man, I want to do this series, the X-Man series." I was like, "Cool." So when you put it in print, we did it 6 months in a row. So the name just stuck after that.
Okay. But it was no specific moment when you were sitting there and going, the X-Man. I'm going to call myself the X-Man. Yeah,
well, I mean, from VPX and the X-Man movies. So I started saying it, but nobody was listening. So when I said it to Steve, yes, it came from the X-Frame. Oh yeah, of course, because I look like a cartoon character. Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I just knew I was going to be in the movies after bodybuilding. So I was trying to, start it off myself, and then Steve put me in the magazine, and then that helped it stick.
Okay. So let's talk just a little bit about the NSL. It was Lee Thompson's organization. So first of all, what kind of offer was made to you? You don't have to give me dollar amounts or anything, but how did he sway you over into the NSL organization 2 years ago?
Well, they didn't really sway me over. They talked me into taking a look, and that's why I wanted to clear up the air and the confusion. There was I never signed a contract. I never had the intent on competing. They hired me as a consultant, basically, and ambassador to the sport. So they gave me a $5,000 watch, and promised me contracts and money and and sponsorships and all that type of stuff. Yeah. And then the whole court thing took off. I didn't want the drama because I love gym and I love the IFBB. I was like, well, I just came over here to be a bodybuilder, continue, because once I injured myself and I knew I wasn't going to continue competing, I got to feed my family. So I basically just took a job. It's like I used to work at McDonald's and now I'm interviewing with Burger King. What's the big deal? So that was my attitude about it. And then when it hit the internet and everybody saying, "Oh, Toney, left the IFBB, he's a traitor," and all this other crap, I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not even competing. They don't even have pros. They don't even have pro shows. Right. What can I possibly do against the IFBB over here? Now, I didn't have to support Lee, but I really wasn't supporting Lee. I was supporting me. You know what I'm saying? I told Lee over and over and over, man, why don't you and Jim go do that shit privately somewhere? None of us really want to participate in it. And I kept telling him that. And, I basically listened to what he was saying about transparency and fair judging. I got threw under the bus by what's the name of them? Generation Iron, that's speaking my mind. And I was just like, damn, I'm so tired of people twisting my words. All I'm saying is I'm a fan of the sport. When you're sitting in the audience and you've been following the sport for 20 years and you don't know what the hell you're looking at, it's irritating. So I started going to shows and there were more people in the show than was watching the show. And that's because of what was going on stage. So that's all I was really saying. So that's where that whole thing got misconstrued. So I really never went to the NSL. They gave me a watch. They paid me for one event. I did one event in Europe at a booth, and that's it. I went to one of their shows. Me, I love bodybuilding. So Lee and them, Charles Johnson, the lawyer, is a good friend of mine. So if it wasn't for him and Mick Skinner from bodybuilding.com, if it wasn't for them, I would have never did that. Me and Lee are cool, but Lee was one of the head judges almost in all those controversial shows for me. So I already wasn't really, with doing business with him or nothing like that. But, it was an opportunity to make some money, continue to be ambassador of the sport. It didn't work out. The only reason I didn't come out sooner and say anything is because I didn't care. I wasn't competing. I wasn't, you can't blackball me from something that I'm not even doing. So didn't even think to address all that other stuff. Jim and them, they know me. They know I'm not like that. I had to feed my family, so I listened to those guys.
Yeah.
It never worked out because of whatever reason, or maybe I don't even know what Lee's real intention with that whole situation was anyway now, because
Yeah.
none of the people that were working with him are there with him anymore. So if someone tells me they're going to pay me six figures and, you know, make me the ambassador of the sport and fly me all over, I mean, I'm going to listen to that. I'm going to hear it out, and if it don't come through, then I'm going to step. I told Lee, I said, Lee, if this doesn't come through, I'm going to, you know, let everybody know that, you know, this is not what it's supposed to be or whatever. And I never even did that. So I just move on, bro. I don't like drama. I don't like causing drama with people. You know, I love everybody, and I'm taking care of me and my own. So, you know, all that other stuff was just rumors and gossip. I
Yeah,
guess
'cause
people need stuff to talk about.
Well, you know, I want you just cleared it up basically, but I mean, the whole misconception and the rumor, everyone assumed it was that you had been fed up with judging in the IFBB,
No,
and that's
no.
why you were jumping over to this other
I
organization.
wasn't really fed up with judging. I'm saying that we don't know what's going on. If we're participating in something and we don't know what's going on, it's irritating. I will say this, a lot of the sponsors was getting too involved in the outcome of the shows.
Hmm.
So and I don't care what nobody say, that shit is prevalent. And so that would needed to end, because I'm standing on stage and I'm not competing against the guys up there. The sponsors are competing against each other. It's retarded. That's just dumb, and that needed to go away. So as soon as I started saying all that, I noticed the following year all the judging. The 2016 Mr. Olympia was probably the fairest judging I ever seen in my life. These last few years has been almost spot on as far as the judging goes. So I commend them in that. And that's really all I was talking about. Every time you hear me say something, it's about the sport. It wasn't ever really about me.
Yeah.
You got to understand, bro. I've been here since '91. So all the people that was around when I was around, they don't come around anymore. Why is that? So I didn't want to be one of those disgruntled people who left the sport and had nothing good to say. I was trying to make a difference while I still had a voice and while I was still there. Yes, I know they were screwing me on my placings, but I also know that it's a business. So if I'm not, you know, if I'm not making them money, then I get it. I mean, if you're a businessman, you're supposed to make business moves. So I got that. Bodybuilding is emotional. So every once in a while, if you put a microphone in front of my face and ask me a question, you think I'm going to sugarcoat it or whatever? I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm feeling. If you don't want to hear it, don't ask me.
Okay. Well, I want to get you some here, but first, one last question that only applies to you is, I remember when we did your column, X-Man for MD, one thing I was always impressed with is how deeply involved you were with, you know, the health aspect of what we do, whereas
Yes.
not so many guys are. And, you know, you had
Yep.
all these, you would detoxify, and you had a lot of different techniques that you use. Real quickly, can you sort of summarize some of the things that you do to make sure that you're healthy?
Anything that's necessary. I do ozone therapy. I do, you know, all extensive kind of blood tests. I'm actually sitting in front of my business partner. We have a machine called the Blue Opal, and the Blue Opal is basically, I call it artificial intelligence, because it talks to your brain and tells you everything that's going on inside your body, all the way down to a cellular level,
Oh my
and
God.
even your thoughts. So I use that readily. It actually treats you, gives you therapy and all that. So I use that because I'm no longer guessing. I just hook myself up, and it's similar to a diagnostic for an automobile. It tells you exactly what's up. So I'm actually getting ready to start setting up clinics and places to where people can go and get that done, and then we can actually set up a true supplement nutritional program according to what's going on the inside of your body. So just stay tuned for that. I'll keep you posted on all that. So then, just recently, yesterday, I spoke with a couple of team of doctors, and we're going to do a virtual clinic. It's called BOD HD, and you can reach me there at TFXman at BOD HD, and it's a completely legal. It's not hormone replacement. It's actually hormone optimization therapy. Really amazing, brand new, cutting edge, completely legal. So you guys go to TFXman at BOD HD, and I'll let you know what's up. It actually launches in January. We'll probably have a booth there, Arnold.
Oh, okay. So is
Yeah.
there a website for BOD HD?
No, it's not even up. It launches in January. So if you want to get information, just hit me up at that email.
Okay.
TFXMAN@bodhd.com.
Okay, cool. All right, can we get your son over here? Is that possible?
Oh yeah, he's right here. Slide over.
See if we can see him. How you doing?
So he just finished training one of his clients. This is Nico. I'm gonna get out the screen.
Yeah. It's all about you now, Nico.
Awesome.
He said, "How old are you?"
How old am I?
How old are you? Yeah.
28 years old.
20 years old. So, your
28.
dad, 28. So,
Mhm.
You grew up basically watching your dad. He was almost in the pro ranks by the time you were born, pretty much. So, what did you think? Were you always aware of bodybuilding, and was it something that you were interested in even from a young age?
I mean, I've pretty much always been interested in the human body, period, and performance, but I was more geared towards the athletic side. Of course, I always supported my dad and what he did. But, I mean, I played football, ran track. So that's more what I was focused on. But the more I started to learn about how the body works and starting to go to school for it, that's when I really just started to catch an interest in it myself.
I saw a couple pictures of you. It looks like the genetics came on pretty strong from dad. What would you say that you have genetically that you have in common with your dad?
Man, yeah, he's definitely blessed me genetically. Him and my mom had great genetics, and I just tried to tap into it that as soon as I could and work on that. But man, yeah, just working on myself and being able to see some of his features, like my back. I don't even really have to try with that, and I'm starting to see that himself. And he always tells me, because I can't see everything that he sees because he's much more experienced. But just him telling me, certain things is kind of pushing me and motivates me to want to work even more and get into it myself.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Okay, so has it been a little bit easier to fill out than maybe it was for your dad?
Yeah, and that's something he's always tells me too. He says that my frame is a lot better for bodybuilding than his is because he had to really struggle to fill up his tall frame. He said I won't have that same problem.
Right.
He already ready to kick their ass.
So that leads me to my next question is, I assume you've never competed yet?
No, sir.
So what's on the menu? What do you guys got in store for us?
Man, well, we're about to start prep here soon. I want to come out next year and just attack it full force.
So what shows do you have in mind, or do you have any specific shows in mind yet?
We're just gonna play it by ear, but I mean, like I say, as far as classic physique goes, he's ready today.
Yeah.
So we'll just pick and choose the shows. I don't want him to do a bunch of amateur shows. I want him to pick and choose and get that pro card and get ready to make this money.
Right on. So Toney, when you look at him right now, what does he have, and what does he still need as far as, because theoretically in a couple of years, maybe this kid could be up there with the top classic pros.
No, he's gonna be up there next year, and I'm not even bragging. I know the physique and I know bodybuilding.
Right.
This boy is lifetime natural. He has never even dieted. He's never even done a bodybuilding regimen routine. He's a track guy. He's been doing explosive exercises, so he's truly not even bodybuilding yet.
Wow.
You can go to his Instagram, go to my Instagram. That picture, I took that picture 3 days ago. That's what he looks like right now, eating. What did we eat yesterday? Eating Chipotle, and you know what I'm saying. So we haven't even started yet. I mean, he doesn't even take this. He takes creatine only.
Wow.
He doesn't even take protein shakes, no fat burners, no cardio. He don't do no 5 sets or nothing. I mean, trust me, y'all. It's getting ready to be ugly. So next year, he will be right up there with whoever the best is in the world at the time.
Are you going to be coaching him personally?
And he will be clean. And he won't even be doing no chemistry, so he doesn't need it.
Really? No, I mean,
truly.
No, I believe that he looks great naturally, but I'm just saying, if there is,
it's not necessary. He only has to be 205 pounds. He's 197 right now.
Okay.
There's no need to go. I actually want to prove to the world that you could do it either way. With this new Bod HD situation, so he'll be hormonally optimized, but not necessarily artificially.
Right, and I assume as his dad, it's in your best interest. You'd love to see him do it without any chemicals that might possibly, risk his health.
Well, like I told you, I know it's down the road for everyone who uses chemicals. So there's no need for me to allow him to go down there. There's nothing at the end of the road. You're going to have to go back. You're going to have to stop eventually. So instead of being forced to stop, you might as well slow the car down so you don't miss the exit, if you know what I'm saying. You might as well follow the right path. If you got somebody that's, 20, 30 years older than you telling you what's going to happen to you if you don't be careful and you don't listen, then that's your fault. I'm putting myself out there for all these young guys and old guys who are finding themselves testosterone, inefficient, impotent, all that other crap. That stuff is avoidable if you're smart. If you just want to try to act like you're going to be Mr. Olympia one day when there's only been 13 of them, so that's kind of a silly thought to even have in the first place. So people kill me with that shit. You'll never be Mr. Olympia. I'm like, dude, tell everyone that because it's only been 13 in the first place.
That's right.
Who said I'm doing this to be Mr. Olympia? Are you freaking kidding me? I just wanted to not be skinny, and I'm top 5 in the world. So I think I did all right.
You did.
But the fact of the matter is, there are consequences to everything that we do. And if you really want to learn how to be healthy and look the way you want to look, because just because you take things and work out hard don't mean you're going to achieve what you're going to achieve. This genetics are it. If you don't have the genetics to do it, what people don't understand is it's not always what you put in your body, is what happens once it gets inside of your body. If your body is not prepared to accept it, or if it's not put together structurally properly for your body to accept it, then you're just a trash can. You're just a dumpster. So you're not getting what should be getting. That's why I always laugh when people talk about the guys overseas in the camel crew. They're doing this, that, and the other.
Yes.
No, they're not. They just have real gear, and they don't have any distractions. That's all it is. They're not doing nothing special. They're not taking no exorbitant amounts of nothing. They're training hard. They're focused. They're not running around acting crazy. I've been over there a bunch of times, and you're there for 2 weeks, and all you do is eat, sleep, and train. So if you eat, sleep, and train, and then all your stuff is legitimate, you're going to be good to go if you have the genetics and you put in the work. So all these people chasing these pro cars and chasing all this other crap, you're never going to get it anyway. And I'm not trying to be discouraging. I'm just saying you might as well try to be healthy and last. It's the people who last. I learned from Sean Ray. You last a long time, and you're going to be in the sport. Don't set yourself on fire and run through the building like gasoline draws on you. Slow down. Use your brain. Stop tearing muscles. Stop doing all this site injection, dumb, crazy stuff, and be a real bodybuilder. Be a bodybuilder, not a body destroyer. That's all.
So will you be taking over? Will you be coaching him, training Nico personally, handling his diet and all that?
Every meal, every rep, everything. And he has my DNA, so I already know what to do.
Yeah. So Nico, are you ready to take this on and jump right in?
Most definitely. I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, because someone said that you would quit track and field and all those other things for bodybuilding, but 28 years old. I don't know.
No, he didn't quit anything. Nico graduated. Yeah. He graduated, and he didn't want to be 160 pounds. He wanted to be 205 pounds. So running 100 meters at over 200 pounds, you're just setting yourself up for failure. So he's listen. The boy has 2 degrees, 6 certifications, working on his double masters, living in my basement. It's over. Trust me.
So if Nico turns pro next year in Classic and you come back to IFBB Pro League as a Classic competitor yourself, could we possibly see you guys on stage together at one point?
Oh, I'm actually gonna prep with him the whole time. I'm just not gonna try to force myself to be 247 pounds to kill myself to get on stage. Now I'll guest pose and be in shape. So whatever I weigh when I get there, that's what I'm gonna be. I'm not gonna try to squeeze. I mean, to be honest with you, I saw Flex Wheeler. More power to you, Flex. If he didn't have to make weight, because I saw Flex when he was still, about, I forgot how far ahead of over the weight was. When I saw him before he had to suck himself all the way down. Yeah. If he could have just came in as Flex, he would have probably been in the top 5 because he just had to lose too much size to try to make weight, and that's the problem with Classic right now. So you got nobody's legs look good. They got like 2 people with legs in the whole Classic physique division. That's got to go. That doesn't look right. So especially with those shorts on, that makes it even look worse.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, do you think they should get rid of the shorts and go back to like bigger trunks like they had in the 70s, 80s?
If they want, I can have Mary Christine make some to look like the ones that Arnold and them used to wear.
Yeah.
And yeah, it would be awesome. But the shorts without legs, the shorts look dumb. So yeah, I think you should go to more the stuff that Sergio and Arnold and them used to wear back in the early 70s.
Okay. All right.
And if you want, like I say, the lady who used to make my trunks,
Yeah.
she can make some. If you guys want to see what they're supposed to look like, I can have her make a few pair. And if you wanna move in that direction, but right now little bitty shorts ain't really cutting it.
Okay. So we don't exactly know when we're going to see you back on stage, and we don't know exactly when we're going to see Nico on stage. Correct?
2018, we'll be there.
2018. We know the year, anyway. So.
We're already in motion. We're already in motion for it. I just haven't decided on the shows, and we got options now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just gonna, just come back and jump in like double dutch. We're gonna think about it and plan it out.
Well, I want to make sure people can follow what's going on. So what is your Instagram, Tony?
TFXman305.
And Nico, what is your Instagram?
Mine is Hulk Smash, but the A in Smash is the number 4.
Hulk Smash. Right on.
Yep.
Okay, so this is where you can follow these two awesome guys.
Yep. Email me at that bod HD situation, and I'll keep you guys posted. That's going to be insane. My goal is to try to help legitimize the sport. So if you have yearly testing, and we're following the WADA guidelines, this whole thing, so everything's going to be completely legal. I think that everybody should really look into it because you might end up saving somebody's life and lengthen their career as well.
Let's get that email one more time because people are slow out there.
Yep. FXMAN at BODHD.com.
Gotcha. All right, everybody.
And it's not even active yet. They're active by 1 o'clock this afternoon. It'll be active. I just called them and asked for it because I was getting ready to do this interview, and I really, really, really want to help people. Do it right, bro. If you're gonna do something in this world, just try to do it right, especially if that option is available.
I know. Yeah, this will be up tomorrow morning. We're talking on what's today, Thursday? Yeah.
Yep.
Throwback Thursday. So this will be up by the time you guys watch this. That'll be active. So we're good to go.
Yes, it will. Yeah.
Wow, so many questions. I could have talked to you for 3-4 hours, but
man, let's do it again in like 30 days after everything's rolling, bro. I mean, like a part 2.
I absolutely want to do a
follow-up. The screen. Yeah, let's do a follow-up because I'm telling you, bro. I also want to share something else with you guys, and this is a product plug, but it's so amazing that I got to tell you about it. This product right here.
Yeah. Elevate.
It's called Elevate Brew. It's a functional beverage. At first, I thought it was just regular coffee, but it has nootropics in it. Huh. And most people, when they make a fat burner, they make something to stimulate your metabolism.
Yeah.
It's either thermogenic or a metabolism stimulator. This is nootropics, just all botanical nootropics for the brain. I've never experienced anything like this. It's amazing. There's another product to go with it called Xanthomax. So the combination of the two, they call it DOSE, dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. Huh. And the E stands for endorphins. But seriously, one cup of this and one capsule of the Xanthomax lasts the entire day. I'm talking about from 7 in the morning till you go to sleep. And you actually can go to sleep. And you actually can eat. It doesn't keep you from eating and it doesn't keep you from sleeping. But it puts you in a zone and it just makes you happy and you feel good. You're alert. The workouts are insane. So I am plugging it a little bit, but I really don't care if you do it or not. I have to put it out there because it's probably one of the most amazing things. And you got to realize now, I work for so many supplement companies, VPX, Muscle Tech, and I was the original Redline and all that. Yep. This stuff is way better than anything I've tried in our industry, for real. And I'm not joking. The guy who makes it is a complete and utter genius.
Wow. Elevate Brew.
Elevate Brew. So you can just hit me up on Instagram, DM me, and I'll send you my link so you can order it. It's actually for the brew and the Xanthomax is less than $100 for 30-day supply.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes, no. It's not for bodybuilding. It's for human beings. It's for your brain.
Well,
so
most people watching this are bodybuilders or want to be bodybuilders. So check
Well,
it out.
bodybuilders need brains too. So I'm just telling you, and especially to get you off all the pre-workouts and all that other stuff. This is definitely a better way to go. It's way healthier, and it works way better. There's no crash. It does not go away.
Cool. All right. Well, Toney Freeman and Nico, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate
Yeah, man.
you guys.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you guys taking the time and talking to everybody. We'll be following closely. There's a lot of excitement about your comeback, a lot of excitement about your son getting into the sport. It's going to be something we're all going to be keeping an eye on over the next few months, especially as we head into 2018. Watching how you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing Facebook lives. We do Instagram lives, of our training sessions, and actually, I'm getting ready to fly to Tulsa, Oklahoma, to meet with the Bod HD guys, and so I'll videotape and show everybody how easy it is because it's a virtual clinic, so it's gonna be amazing.
Why not?
It's gonna be amazing.
All right. Well, keep an eye out, everybody.
Right.
So for the Ronline
Cool,
Report, it's been me, Ron Harris, with Toney Freeman and his son, Nico. Thanks for watching.